Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethony and I have a new setup. I'm just trying to get used to my new stuff. I have a new camera and yeah, a whole new setup for doing videos. I have this awesome screen which clearly needs more fairy lights, and we'll be getting more fairy lights. I have a microphone that I've been using for a very long time, but I also have a new camera. My camera on my Mac is actually, my MacBook is from 2012 and it is getting there, but the whole inside of the RAM and everything's been upgraded, but the camera was starting to become a little less clear. So I went and bought a new one and it already looks amazing. So this is the new setup, so I'm really happy with this. So now that I've kind of had my little moment of like, whee, let's talk about today's topic. As always, I have got some notes, so I'm going to start looking at this for you. So today I'm going to be answering a question from a lovely tarot student at the Tarot Readers Academy. And before I jump in, please note, as always, this is going to be me sharing with you, and you can take what resonates and leave the rest. So this is all about just being inspired and incorporating what you want into your personal practice, and then just leaving the rest behind. And so the lovely Amanda asks, what do you do when a tarot reading starts off positive but then gets dark and hard? Do you have any tips and suggestions for helping with your clients? So this is such a great question. So that's the thing about, this is one of the things about 78 cards in the tarot. There is light and shadow. There are ups and downs, because I believe, and I've mentioned many times before, that the tarot is a representation of the book of life. It's a reflection of what we go through, and it's not all pretty, it's not all easy. You also never know when you shuffle those bad boys what's going to come up. You can't just like go, well, I'm going to pick this one and this one and this one, and I'm going to leave the rest of the cards out. It doesn't sort of work that way. So you could start in a reading, and you could be in a reading and really be in your zone. It could be like the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups, and then the Tower appears. And the lesson and message and vibe of the reading will completely change. So here are some tips that I have from gathering from my many years as a reader. So what you can do when it all turns to crap in a tarot reading, when you're up crap creek without a paddle. So my first tip is to be prepared. So at some point this is going to happen. Statistically, it's impossible for this not to happen if you read the cards with any sort of frequency. So when you accept that it's going to happen, and that you as the tarot reader can aid someone find their way through a difficult time, it shifts the fear of being the deliverer of bad news to the person who can help guide someone through some pretty tense or hard times. You as a tarot reader, and even your client, they are not the cards, and you are not a bad person, and nor are they. And you are especially not a bad person if you have to deliver some harder messages to share, or if you have to share that with your clients. People come to the tarot for a reason. And if you have a fear around not being liked or wanting to be a people pleaser, then maybe this is an opportunity for you to do some work around this for yourself. Because being liked, I mean, we all want to be liked in a way. We can't, I don't necessarily know that you can work in a field like healing or tarot reading or counseling or whatever those fields are, and be a bit of a icy bitch or not a very nice person. You know, we as healers and as readers, we usually have that, like, I want to help people gene, right? We have that vibe, but we also need to hold the integrity of kind of like, well, these things happen, so helping them and viewing it from that point of view. I believe as tarot readers, we will have a more successful relationship with the tarot and with our clients when we are okay with not everyone loving us, and when we're okay with knowing that we're not for everyone, and when we're okay with going, if I deliver this message to you and you're seeing this as, and I do it in a way that is not an attack, or it is in a way that is in my highest vibration, if you take that on as me being judgmental or whatever it is, then that's more about what's going on for you and not really what's going on for me. So my second tip is to hold space for your client and for yourself. So if you're an empathic person, before your readings start, ensure that you have energetically protected yourself, or are in a space where you are able to observe and not absorb. You don't want to take on other people's energy, especially if it is going to affect you in any way, shape or form. It doesn't mean that you can't be empathetic. It doesn't mean that you can't be sympathetic. It just means that you're not holding on to an energy that is not yours to hold on to. So having tissues ready for your clients in a reading and allowing them the space and time to feel what they need to is super important. I've always got tissues when I'm doing face-to-face readings. And if they do start to tear up, or if you do feel the energy shift in the room and you think, oh, now we're going down, we're going to be hitting some more sensitive things, reassure them that feeling this and experiencing this is all a part of the process, and that release is healthy and positive. I'm a crier. I can't watch Alexa. So I always encourage when I see my clients getting upset, I try to hold space for them because they may not feel comfortable crying, or they may not feel comfortable crying in front of other people in their lives. So you are really witnessing an extremely important release and healing process. And then after, you have a tool which can help shift the energy after the reading. Like, I don't recommend that you smoke cleanse or bell or bowl or whatever it is your clients while they're sitting right there, unless it's an energy healing or a shift that is included in your service. But afterwards, if you've had quite the heavy reading, or if you feel as though you need to take a moment, then you can cleanse the area and carry on with your day. My third tip is to learn how to find the positive opportunity in the harder cards. So this is something that comes with learning. We're constantly learning as tarot readers, and embracing new ways of seeing the cards and looking at the different layers of them. So there is always something positive in each tarot card, and I truly believe that. And this is why, for myself, I don't read reversals, because I believe that there is multi-layers to the tarot. So, for example, the Ten of Swords holds the positive message that what is done is done. If you look at a lot of the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery of the Ten of Swords, that person ain't getting up. Like, there is no way you can survive that kind of ordeal. But what is done is done. It's metaphorical, right? So all of the cards have been laid on the table. Nothing else is going to pop up and make the situation worse or harder. The person has endured everything and is about to move and shift on. As a 10, we're about to move into a new cycle. The end is near. So I actually really like when the Ten of Swords comes up for my clients, because it means that they are at the end of the cycle and things are going to change for them. The Tower, for example, holds a positive message that all of the illusions, so fake friends, distractions, relationships, maybe the illusion of security in a job, have been removed. Everything has been shifted and removed, and you can now see things for what they really are. It is a divine aha moment, and only the strong foundations have remained. So you really see where everything lies after the Tower has come up in a reading and after the dust has settled from that sort of storm. And it's incredible what can be left behind. It may surprise you. So the Tower has that incredible transformative energy of knowing what is real and what is an illusion, and knowing what you're made of, and rebuilding from very strong foundations. The Five of Cups holds a positive message that grief and allowing those feelings that are less than positive come into our lives and be fully felt is actually part of the process to moving forward in a healthy way. When we embrace our pain, when we don't shove it down and we don't pretend that we are okay, we are not delaying our healing. When we are faking it, or we are not embracing the fact that we are not okay, or we're not admitting it to ourselves or other people, all we are doing is bottling that up and holding that within our bodies. The Five of Cups, if we're able to pour that over and spill that out and cry that out, or however we like to feel those emotions, talking and all those sorts of things, then we're able to start moving forward because we're not holding on to it anymore. So those are some of the harder cards in the deck. That's certainly not all of them, but to give you some examples of how there are positive messages in the harder cards. So as I was mentioning before, all cards have multiple meanings. So there's always something that you can give to your clients as a light in the darkness. It makes me kind of remind of Galadriel when she gives the light of, oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called now. Someone's going to say it in the comments. And she says, may this be a light for you when all of the lights go out. A light in the darkness when all the lights go out. So big Galadriel, damn it. She's amazing. My fourth tip is see it for the possibility that it is. So depending on whether you believe in fate or choice, or maybe a little mix of both, this may or may not apply to you. But I personally believe that we have been given free will and that some things are not set in stone. The cards can be warnings that your client is best to shift behavior to possibly avoid a crappy outcome. Forewarning can be a total gift. You'll find that a lot with readings anyway, that people will ask for, potential outcomes, so you can help them kind of avoid some of the crap. But if your tarot reading does turn to poo, pull some clarifying cards to see if the course can be corrected or avoided. See what your clients can change and control and what they can't. Give your clients some options and give them some power too. So I believe a little bit of both, and again, I think I have more of an idea than a belief. For example, my son, for example, who came through even though I was on contraceptive and I was told by many doctors that getting pregnant was, I had like a Buckley's chance because of many health issues that I was born with, all of these things, and yet I have the most amazing healthy son. So I really feel like that soul connection was very fated. So I'm not sure if I believe that. Obviously there were choices involved in that, but I believe that he was going to be a part of my life anyway. But the choice and the fate kind of work together in that one. So this comes down to very much your personal views, but you can certainly have a look at how you can use the tarot to help navigate your clients' paths. And my fifth tip is to tell the truth. I only speak the truth. I only speak the truth. From Moulin Rouge. So transitioning into this, I don't sugarcoat things in a way that takes away from the heart of the meaning of the reading and the cards. If you smile and say, it's all going to be fine, actually more than fine, unicorns, fairy floss for all times and for everybody, then things don't turn out that way, and you actually saw it. You aren't honoring the tarot as a tool, and you aren't honoring yourself, and you aren't honoring your clients. Your reputation will also take a hit. Always tell the truth. It is in the way in which you're able to share the message of the tarot to your clients, which is going to be the most powerful thing. So when we've got hard things to say, this is when our kind of like tarot bedside manner, and doing some work on effective communication, and helping people through difficulty. That's why marrying things like counseling and coaching is really, really good with the tarot. If you want to read that way, it can help. I mean, some people will just be that person who's just like, you know what, I am a straight talker, as I call them, the tarot badass. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and don't book with me unless that's the way in which you like to have things delivered. And other people will do it in a softer manner. And that's why it's amazing with the tarot that we all have our different ways of doing things, because we all bring our personal ways of reading to the cards, and it's amazing because we all need to hear things in different ways. But no matter how you do it, tell the truth, I guess, is the crux of that one. And my last tip, my sixth tip for what to do when it all turns to crapola in a tarot reading, is to always leave the reading on a positive note. Very much like what I learned with when I was a manager and doing the shit sandwich. Positive, negative, positive, in an Oreo of fun. So it's basically allowing, not to be all doom and gloom, and to leave the person on a positive note. So remember what I said about giving your clients choice and power. Hope is powerful. Having something positive to work with is powerful. So not false hope, like I said about the unicorns and puppy dogs, but leaving things on a positive note and wrapping everything up in a positive way allows your client to leave feeling better, hopefully better than they did when they walked in. So this is another reason why I love closing out my tarot readings with an oracle card draw, because it does help ground and focus the reading in the end. And this can sometimes be the only thing that people remember. So I am pretty good as well at kind of going over everything at the end of the reading, and if there's any takeaways or things that I would suggest for them to do, like rituals or cleansings or anything like that, I end it on there. So always leave the reading in a positive way for your clients. And as a bonus tip, if everything else, if all this fails, there's always wine, hard liquor, chocolate, and retail therapy. But use these remedies wisely, my friends, as you will feel crappy in the morning, and your credit card may take a hit. So, but these are my tips for you. I would love to hear what you do when things turn to poo-poo in your readings. Have I missed anything? And what have your experiences with this been? I would freaking love to know. So hit me up and leave a comment and let me know what you've done when it's all turned to poop. And if you have a question about the tarot or building a tarot business that you want me to chat about, please email me at ethony@tarotreadersacademy.com. And thank you so much for watching this video.